We must also focus on partnerships because global progress is built on networks of trust. We need stronger ties within CARICOM and with strategic global partners in Africa, North and South America, Europe, Asia, the Pacific, and the Middle East. In the new dispensation, which is emerging, it is clear that the world is not unipolar and that there are opportunities that we must explore. There are gains which we have left on the table, unexplored. And as a community, we must strengthen cooperation. We must strengthen our trade cooperation with Africa, and we must strengthen our internal cooperation. The resources in CARICOM are sufficient for us to provide for the needs of our people. Guyana with energy and land, Suriname with energy and land, Trinidad, Jamaica with incredible human resources. What has stopped us for these many years? We have been saying we really want to get it. Did we really want it? I think that the emerging global situation must now push us to really get it. We can get it because the time to get the prosperity for our people.
Greetings and welcome to Auntie Yami channel, the daughter of Africa, the motherland. How are you doing, my Jamaican and Barbados brothers and sisters? Today I'm going to combine, I'll call it 2-in-1. I'm doing this because our Prime Minister Andrew Holness has been talking about partnership, global partnership. I'm going to talk about global partnership, which I'm going to include Prime Minister of Barbados, Mia. Then I'll also talk about free movement. I'll also talk about Prime Minister Mia asking European Union to remove the high-risk list because Jamaica and Barbados, they've been complying to the conditions. I'll also talk about the signing agreement, which is also including partnership topic, where Prime Minister Andrew Holness is still talking and demonstrate how it works by signing an agreement with African nation, for example Nigeria. Then I'll finalize with testimonies from parents of the children who are using the minibuses, the buses, school buses. Maybe I need to say that. Oh, Auntie Yami, not just minibuses, school buses, children buses, as you always put it, my Jamaican brothers and sisters. We need to hear from these parents. Now, don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share. Watch this video so that we can share what it means about partnership. Our Prime Minister, in his speech about global partnership, as you've heard the clip I've played, acknowledged us that strong ties with Africa, including other continents or countries out there worldwide, it strengthens trade cooperation, and also this will help. For example, if Jamaica is working with other countries such as Guyana, You might be getting energy from Guyana. It's about exchanging. And Guyana will be asking Jamaica that, oh, we want this, we don't have that. To make everything cheaper, rather than just depending on providers from your own country. Because it might be cheaper from a different source than your own source. Because normally when there's competition, it helps the products or commodities to become cheap because there's a competition. If Barbados is maybe producing a lot of oil or a lot of anything, it will be ideal for Jamaica to also exchange something, even labor. It helps to create jobs, as we always say. If the commodities are cheap, is part of reducing poverty. So our Prime Minister Andrew Holness wants to extend outside CARICOM in Africa or so, because even the Barbados Prime Minister has been attending African Union summits and even talking about oneness, even reminding us Africans how these people, the colonies, they destroyed us, they divided us. Why is it happening like that? Why is it that the Prime Minister of Barbados cannot just stick on Caribbean countries only? Oh, it was history. Slavery was history. No. We need to remind that we need to be together as one. We need to work together to fight this, because up to now, there are countries, most of the countries in Caribbean, they are being ruled by them. We are paying for that. Our brothers and sisters, you are paying. What we need is to come together with you, our brothers and sisters, and fight what belongs to us and take over. That's why I always remind you to choose Andrew Holness as your Prime Minister. Third term. Because he understands. He knows that Jamaica, your soul and his soul. It's not about, oh, it wasn't me, it was so, I didn't do this, but my forefathers, oh my what. This is how we don't want that. Open your eyes, Jamaicans. Because you can see the signs. Everything is coming out. You've heard speeches coming out from Barbados Prime Minister Mia. Why is she doing that? Why is it that she has been attending African Union Summit? Because she knows where the roots are. She knows that we need each other. And Andrew Holness knows that we need also Africa to sign deals so that we can exchange skills, transferable skills. We can learn from each other. We can even fill the gap that someone created to divide us. We don't want that. Time is gone for that, my fellow Jamaicans. My brothers and sisters, it wasn't us, they divided us. We cannot hate each other. We are brothers and sisters. We know what happened, and we don't want that to repeat. That's why you have to choose your own son of the soil, Andrew Holness. Enough is enough. We cannot depend on that. This agreement our Prime Minister has signed with African nations will bring Jamaica and other Caribbean countries closer to Africa, the motherland, opening new doors for growth and cooperation. We'll exchange skills, knowledge. Even it's good for trade. It's good for developing your country. It's good to make sure that each and everyone, Afro-Caribbean countries in future, they need to make sure all those borders are open. Because we are one. They divided us. We are tired. We miss each other. That's why Andrew Holness, as the chair of CARICOM, has followed the same route Barbados Mia has been doing since she was chairman of CARICOM, because Andrew Holness knows that by working in partnership with our African brothers and sisters is going to help. My Jamaican people, it's true, Africa by itself is rich. We've got diamond. We've got raw materials, which is creating all these mobile phones. We've got that in DRC Congo. We've got oil. Lot of countries now, they are discovering oil in Africa. What about gold? We've got gold everywhere. What about energy? We can't develop that without anyone stealing from us. We've got everything that is needed out. We've got everything, my Jamaican. And even all those Caribbean countries or nations have got what it takes to combine everything together. We can rule the world. This is not what they want. We want Afro-Caribbean countries where we depend on each other. We've got even job offers. Reduce poverty. Depend on each other rather than being told what to do. We are tired. This is why Andrew Holness, our Prime Minister, including Barbados Prime Minister Mia, has been talking about. For it to happen, Andrew needs to be there, Andrew Holness. My Jamaican people, open your eyes. It's not too late. Let's listen to this clip by Barbados Prime Minister talking about what European Union is doing by keeping Jamaicans on the high risk, including her country. This is already demonstrating that we are being manipulated. We don't need that. And you can see the meaning of partnership. She did not just talk about her country. It included Jamaica, because she knew that I cannot leave my brother there. We need each other, because this is destroying our reputation, destroying our progress, destroying our development, destroying our countries, our tourism, you name it. Let's listen.
Prime Minister of Barbados, Mia Mottley, is calling on the European Parliament to delist countries like Barbados and Jamaica from its European Union Enhanced Delegated List. Speaking at the 49th CARICOM Heads of Government meeting recently, Prime Minister Mottley says despite both countries being removed from the Financial Action Task Force list for more than 1 year, they remain on the EU's high-risk list.
Because of a technical mechanism by which they remove countries, Barbados and Jamaica continue to suffer at the hands of the listing process when we have been deemed to be fully compliant with all of the obligations required of us from the Financial Action Task Force. It is wrong, and if it was the shoe on the other foot, if the shoe was on the other foot, we would be told how to find ways of having our parliament change the manner in which we address this issue, rather than grouping all of the countries in one basket to be the victims of any opposition on any country in spite of the progress made by our countries.
She says the delay in updating the list hampers...
You've heard, Jamaicans. She said you cannot continue. This is strong woman. Voice of a strong leader who is standing up there as a woman to challenge the European Union, who has contributed to Barbados or Jamaica to continue to suffer from expensive commodities. Because by doing that, they always put restrictions, and it's not really good. You asked us and you gave us some conditions. We've complied with everything you put in place for us to follow. But up to now, you've showed us deaf and blind eyes like you cannot see. We don't want this. That's why Jamaican Prime Minister Andrew Holness, including Mia from Barbados, doesn't want to depend on one country or one state or one union. They are working really hard to extend to their brothers and sisters in Africa. Where we came from, we know that where we came from, there is everything, all the minerals, the oil, combining everything. We are not going to go through all this. My Jamaican brothers and sisters, if the leaders are showing us unity, what about us? If Barbados and other CARICOM countries' leaders are showing support to our Prime Minister Andrew Holness, they came there. They made some speeches. All those speeches was about oneness, trade. How are we going to tackle crime? How are we going to tackle poverty? How are we going to tackle these people who wants to put us down? And they came up with deals and signed. And their brothers and sisters in Africa, they are like, you are welcome. We are all one. We came from the motherland. So there's one person there who up to now hasn't changed how they think. They're still enjoying to be just colonized. They are enjoying that rule where they will even deny us by putting us on high risk list, to deny us opportunities, to deny us moving forward, to deny us progressing, to deny our people to come out of poverty. Why are you still in darkness? Today is the day for you to change how you think. Don't listen to naysayers, I always repeat, because they are there to destroy. They don't understand. They are forgetting. They've forgotten already the history. They are there to make history repeat. We don't want that history to repeat. We want our Jamaica back. Who is going to bring back our Jamaica is Andrew Holness with JLP Party. We can continue talking to them, but to date, I've seen them still bringing out their lies. That's why today I brought testimonies from parents, because the buses issue is trending on social media. How can a leader of opposition who is preparing, who is fighting to become a prime minister of a country like Jamaica, try to underestimate what is helping the children who have suffered all these past years? Who does that? Even the parents, they've suffered. That's why bad mind cannot go anywhere. We cannot allow people like that to become our leaders, Jamaicans. They cannot lie to you that whenever they take government, if you vote for them, they'll buy those modern buses. Where are they going to get the money? Even here in the UK, I've lived here. Let's forget London. London has got London transport. But I've never seen free transport. It is free, but whenever you are dealing with oyster, you also pay. It's not just free. But let's go outside London, because these buses are not for cities. They are for countryside there in Jamaica. In every countryside here in the UK, there's no free children's school buses. And I'm saying this, and it's reality. How can a very developed country like UK not afford to buy free children's school buses? There is a reason. That's why we have to appreciate and give credit to Andrew Holness for thinking about remote areas. How are these kids, the future generation, going to get to school? But someone matured is coming here and condemn just because that person is hungry to become a leader. Jamaicans, is this reality? Is this what you want? The ball is in your hands. Let's listen to the parents before we go to other topics.
The parents of rural Jamaica whose children will be riding these buses.
Based on me being a single parent, that would be perfect. Less bus fare, because typically my son spends $600 for bus fare to and from school. So if we have a rural school bus system, that would be very great.
Yes, we would like a rural bus service for our community. In Mount James, Brandon Hill, we are joining.
That would be a good idea.
Why is that?
Because sometime in the morning when the students get here to go to school, sometimes the bus stop full up of adults, and they may have a little difficulty getting on the bus because sometimes the adult, them children want to reach a work in time. They may cut past the student, them and gone on the bus and really don't really cares about them, you know. So that would be a good idea for the kids.
That would be nice. That would be good.
Why you say that?
Because we keep children them suffer because the taxi man them take $150 and then treat them bad. When them now have them $150 or $200 sometimes.
Yes, I feel good because at least the kids will save going home and going to school. Because you know the taxi money man who said just take with the kids them and all me friends if you take taxi now. Because they might take everybody, so that will be very good.
Well, that would be good because my daughter would have to leave out not so early in the morning because she would have to leave out 5:30 to get a bus to go to school.
What time does she leave out now?
If she would get a proper bus to school, she would leave out about maybe 6 or 6:15.
And what time does she get home in the evenings?
About 4:30. The school over by 3.
What time does he leave out in the morning to go to school?
5:30. Yeah, because we have to beat the traffic. Long lane traffic in the morning. And school starts 7:30.
And what time does he get home?
Well, basically 4:30, 4:45. So you know, so that left little time for little study, whatever, recreation, bedtime, same routine the next morning.
So the school bus system would cut that down?
Yeah, it would cut it down drastically. Yeah.
Yes, guys, so I was glad when I saw this news item by the Jamaica Gleaner this morning, because even though on our live broadcast program over here, we've heard from some of our JPU parents in rural Jamaica, and they told us the plight of their families and what their kids have to go through in the mornings and in the evenings going to and from school. So it's nice to hear from people who are, you know, independent-minded, I would say, which means that they're not affiliated with us. It's important to hear what they have to say. And it sounds like there's been a real struggle, you know, for these kids in rural Jamaica in getting to school. I also heard on, I don't remember what news station it was, where principals even came out and said, what? This good because the pitney them a come at school a morning time, some bad 9, 10 o'clock a morning time. When you ask them where them a come from, them couldn't get a ride or, you know, things like that. Some of them complain about bus fare issue. You hear the lady said that some of the taxi people and them treat the kids them bad. Some of them may not have enough to pay their fare because they're overcharged and stuff like that. So while the national...
You've heard, Jamaicans, what the parents are saying, what they went through before the launch of these children buses. By hearing to those testimonies by parents, my mind is like, who else is there just choosing people because might be they are not following up what is happening? Might be you've got a car. Might be you've never experienced poverty. Might be you grew up with your parents who had everything. But believe me or not, for people who have gone through hell before these children buses, will always appreciate and vote for Andrew Holness because they know what they went through. And they did not have this dream There are some parents, they couldn't even afford to send their children to school. Then who are you to come out there and start criticizing, condemning what a good leadership has brought to the answer of these parents? Shame on you, because I've never seen a good leader who behaves like that, whether it's campaign, whether it's for your benefit, but wherever credit is given, you have to appreciate. Let's move forward. Jamaicans, kudos to you and the whole nations of CARICOM. Free movement for the nationals, including access to education and healthcare settings. Starting from October 1, the deal has been signed. I remember I came across one article. It was meant to be June, but now it's confirmed from October 1st. Free movement. You can just go to one country and another without being checked. You can go and work. You can just go there on holiday without even struggling. This is how EU countries manages their life. Those citizens, they can just go from France to Belgium, from Belgium to what, without any problem. Just get a bus. Just get a ship from Jamaica to Barbados. Might be from Barbados to Guyana. From Guyana might be to Belize. This is the good governance of Andrew Holness. It's leadership. That's why he continues to preach about partnership. You need a colleague. You need a friend or else a mate. Jamaica cannot be on its own. It needs others. This is how it is. Jamaicans, you are so lucky. And you'll be surprised that even these people who doesn't want to vote for Andrew Holness, they'll even enjoy these benefits. Soon or later, we are praying for this agreement of free movement has to be all over African countries. And we don't want those trips where you have to fly maybe from Kenya. You have to come to UK first. Then they won't even allow you to go to Jamaica. All those burdens, all those barriers, they need to be removed. We need to have our own straight flights from Kenya to Jamaica. From Ghana, maybe to Jamaica. We don't want these routes the way you have to fly from Kenya or from Ghana to UK. UK, they'll say, no, we are not going to grant you visa. No, we don't want that. Because we want freedom of movement everywhere from one place to another. Like you Jamaicans. All this is because of Prime Minister Andrew Holness. I'm so happy. I know it's not difficult for me to fly to Jamaica, but we want African countries also to have access. Even Jamaicans, they need to just go on straight flight to Kenya, to Ghana, to Nigeria, to South Africa, to Zambia, to Lesotho, to Botswana, to Eswatini without any problem. Let's play last clip and see what happened the time Prime Minister of Barbados went to attend African Union. Her speech by itself tells a story. The daughter of the soil, she went there to Ethiopia to attend African Union meeting, but she stood up and break the internet, and the whole Africa was like applauding her. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment and share. Thank you very much for watching as we continue to listen to this clip.
Thank you very much, Madam Chairperson. Your Excellencies, and may I start, Chairperson of the African Union, President of Angola, Your Excellency, Prime Minister of the Federal Democratic Republic of Ethiopia, and our host, Dr. Abiy Ahmed, Your Excellency, outgoing Chairperson of the African Union and President of the Islamic Republic of Mauritania, Your Majesties, Your Excellencies, Heads of State and Government of the African Union and First Ladies present, Your Excellency, the President of the Palestinian Authority, Your Excellency Antonio Guterres, Secretary General of the United Nations, Your Excellency Musa Faki Mohammed, Chairperson of the African Union Commission, Your Excellencies, former heads of state and heads of government of the African Union, distinguished delegates, ambassadors, and guests all. I stand here clothed in the spirit of the battles of Adwa, conscious that it was that battle within 24 hours that shook the confidence of the powers of Europe, but inspired the people of Africa and the children of the African diaspora that good would prevail over evil and light over darkness, but only in the context of our unity. I stand here conscious that it was that battle that forged the beginnings of Pan-Africanism that eventually led to the movement for independence and the destruction of the colonial powers to give us not full development and power, but the first steps of political independence. I stand here conscious and buffeted by the dreams and works of the great Pan-African pioneers, and conscious that as a children of the Caribbean, we have long dreamt for the moment of unity with our brothers and sisters of Africa, a division that was secured by those whose success and survival depended on separation of us rather than on the ability for us to act as one common people. Our relationship, you can say, was embryonic. But regrettably, as long as it has been and as related as we have been, it has been sporadic. And it is up to us, as the children of independent states, to determine whether the history of separation shall be our future, or whether the spirit of Adwa can be our inspiration to confront the challenges of a new world. Yes, I stand here as a daughter of Africa. I stand here equally as a proud Prime Minister of Barbados.
Jamaicans, you've heard the Prime Minister of Barbados speech at the African Union Summit. Jamaica and the whole world. We need leaders who will speak out without any barrier. The leaders who knows about our past. And those type of leaders, they are good for change. The leaders who were taught, the leaders who understand where we are, like Andrew Holness, knows about the history. The leaders who will stand up without covering all those ill things we went through. Our forefathers went through a lot. We want those leaders because those leaders does understand us. We want leaders who are not going to come here and say it wasn't me, but they are not feeling comfortable to talk about slavery. They are not going to talk about what happened and why did it happen. Why is it that they divided us from our brothers and sisters? What happened? But if you are not careful, you will end up falling into a trap by choosing someone who will stand up there and tell you you cannot talk about that. We have to move forward. You will choose for a person who will tell you we cannot say sorry for what happened. We cannot compensate you for what happened. We want to still rule Jamaica. We want to still rule Barbados. We want to still rule other islands. Do you need that type of leader, Jamaicans? Or you need to vote for your son of the soil? That's why I always remind you, this is the son of your soil, whom his forefathers, ancestors went through a lot 500 years ago. We don't want that. It might be history, but that history is haunting us because we still don't understand why will people do that to us. So you don't want someone who is going to be just there, not free to speak out. Because that person cannot go to African Union Summit and speak out. We don't want people like that, Jamaicans. Choose carefully. Choose the son of the soil. Change is there for the better. The future is in your hands. Remember, Rome wasn't built in a day. Remember what our Prime Minister is preaching about global partnership. Strong ties with Africa and other countries. Free movement. Remember that. Everything is about partnership. And Prime Minister Mia not forgetting Jamaica. For her message to European Union. What about our parents appreciating about the buses? What about the signed agreements already? Jamaica. The ball is in your hands. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much to all my subscribers, returning and new subscribers. I really appreciate for your love. Thank you as we listen and watch these clips. God bless you abundantly. Ciao, ciao. Bye.
In the heart of the island, where the sun brightly gleams, stands a leader of promise, fulfilling our dreams. With courage unwavering, you navigate the tide. Andrew, you're our beacon, our righteous guide. Oh, Andrew Holness, the voice of our faith. In your hands the vision for a future so great. With the spirit of service,